Afternoon's news in brief. I'll be joined by Livingstone Kawesi for sign language interpretation and translation. In today's international news, Russian police are reported to have arrested hundreds of protesters rallying against the Kremlin's decision to call up thousands of extra troops to fight in Russia. The Russian human rights group OVD Info has put the total at most than 1,300. The largest numbers arrested were in St. Petersburg and Moscow. Dozens were held in Irkutsk and the Siberian cities. Flights out of Russia sold out fast after Vladimir Putin's announcement. Pictures on social media showed long queues at border posts, and on Google, the search for how to leave Russia skyrocketed. Russia's president ordered a partial mobilization, meaning some 300,000 military reservists, but not conscripts, will be drafted to bolster Russia's forces who have suffered recent battlefield reverses in Ukraine. The move came a day after occupied areas of Ukraine announced snap referendums on joining Russia. And in remarks condemned by Ukraine and its allies, Mr. Putin stressed that he would use all available means to protect Russian territory, implying it could involve nuclear weapons. And still about Russian-Ukrainian war, Russia must face just punishment over its invasion of Ukraine, according to President Volodymyr Zelensky as he addressed the UN General Assembly in New York. In a pre-recorded video, the Ukrainian leader called for the creation of a special war tribunal and detailed alleged war crimes by Russia. He also set out a formula, including more military support and to punish Russia on the world stage. Russia's Vladimir Putin had earlier called upon 3,000 reservists for duty. The move prompted rare protests in dozens of Russian cities, and Mr. Zelensky said the partial mobilization showed his enemies was not serious about peace talks. Monitoring group OVD Info said 1,315 Russians had been arrested. The Ukrainian leader said creating a special tribunal would help hold Moscow to account for stealing territory and murdering thousands of people. His address yesterday received a standing ovation from many of the session's attendees. Despite Russia's decision to bolster its military campaign, the two sides took part in the biggest war exchange of prisoners since the start of the war. Moving on, North Korea says it has never sold weapons to Russia and has no plans. Reports that Moscow was turning to Pyongyang to replenish stockpiles. U.S. officials had said Russia was in the process of purchasing rockets and artillery shells from North Korea. They said such moves, along with alleged purchases of Iranian weapons, showed Western sanctions were impeding Russia's efforts in the Ukraine war. Moscow denied the reports at the time. Any arms movements between the two countries would be in violation of United Nations sanctions. Today, in a statement carried by North Korean state media KCNA, an unnamed official at the North Korea's defense ministry said they have never exported weapons or ammunition to Russia before and they will not export them. It accused the U.S. and other hostile forces of spreading rumors to pursue its best political and military aims. And in the United States, Donald Trump and 3 of his children have been hit with a fraud lawsuit after a New York investigation into their family company, the Trump Organization. It alleges that they lied by billions about the value of real estate in order to get loans and pay less tax. Prosecutors say the Trump Organization committed numerous acts of fraud between 2011 and 2021. Mr. Trump had dismissed the lawsuit as another witch hunt. The former president's eldest son, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric Trump were also named as defendants along 2 executives at the Trump Organization, Allen Weisselberg and Jeffrey McConney. The lawsuit has been brought by New York Attorney General Letitia James, who is the state's most senior lawyer after a 3-year civil investigation. Her office does not have the power to file criminal charges, but is referring allegations of criminal wrongdoing to federal prosecutors and to the Internal Revenue Service. And elsewhere, Lebanese banks will remain shut indefinitely due to a lack of security protection by authorities, according to their association. The announcement by the Association of Lebanese Banks follows a string of raids by customers demanding access to frozen savings last week. It said their employees faced risk which had not been mitigated. A woman armed with a toy gun staged a hold-up at a bank on Wednesday to pay for family medical bills. There have since been other copycat raids, with reports of at least 5 last Friday. Lebanon is in a severe economic crisis, with more than 80% of the population struggling to afford food and medicine. The raids have mostly drawn support from the general public and have been seen as acts of desperation by people who do not have criminal records and are trying to settle bills. Well, that brings us to the end of this afternoon's news in brief. Thank you for watching Channel 44. I'm Mercy Gashegu Sembatia. Well, Pastor Jessica Kayanja is coming on with a powerful program, The Marriage Now. During this program, she will be preaching on the glory of God, how it is helping, how we all need the glory of God in our day-to-day lives, and how we can break through by the glory of God. Stay tuned to Channel 44. You will be blessed. God bless you. Enjoy your afternoon.